Alright, guys, welcome back to JFabe Wrestling. As we all know, it is Royal Rumble season. And I just wanted to do something a little different here. I know I was thinking about rebooking some individual cards, but I think I'd rather just go throughout the years here and kind of rebook a title match and a Royal Rumble winner. So, the Road title match. And if some cards don't have it, I'll make a Road title match. And then, I'll rebook the winner as well. And obviously, a lot of this is using hindsight, so, it's going to be a little bit easier for us to kind of go back and make some changes. But let's get into it, guys. Let's start right now. So, obviously, the first Royal Rumble took place in 1988, and it wasn't really a pay-per-view, I believe. But obviously, I have a little bit of hindsight here, so I'm going to try to make this a little more meaningful here. I would actually have Andre the Giant win the first Royal Rumble, kind of, showing Hulk Hogan that he's ready for Saturday night's main event. And I would have him dominate here, have him eliminate like 10 guys. I think it just makes sense to use Andre the Giant like that and to establish that, Giants are really unstoppable in the Royal Rumble. I feel like they kind of got away from that, and I think it just makes sense to establish Andre. And for the title match, I would have Hulk Hogan versus Harley Race, a nice, fun match here. Harley Race was also in the Rumble. And you got two legends here. Hulk Hogan, obviously glitz and glamour. Harley Race, he's all about, technical wrestling, and, he's not around for that, glitz and glamour. He's all old school, and he has a problem with Hulk Hogan. So, nice title match here. Hulk Hogan gets the win, and I think it will establish, Saturday night's main event with Andre dominating the Royal Rumble, Hulk Hogan getting a nice title defense, and sets up the Saturday night's main event where Andre will win. All right, next up we got the 1989 Royal Rumble. I would actually have Randy Savage defend his belt against an up-and-comer Mr. Perfect. I think this is a great title defense here. Randy Savage can talk about, how you can't be perfect if you're not the WWF champion, and Mr. Perfect can say he's the best at everything and that he's just missing his opportunity to become the champion. And he also can kind of hit on Liz there and say Liz wants to be with a perfect man. So, this also brings back, Randy's paranoia. And then at the Rumble, I would have Hogan win, just like he did win. Actually, no, Big John Studd won this match, actually. So, I would have Hogan win. It'd be Hogan against Big Boss Man and Akeem. Hogan would overcome the odds. So, it builds towards Hogan versus Savage. And also, Savage gets a nice defense here. But also his paranoia because of Mr. Perfect taunting him comes back. So, I think it makes sense for the storyline. And I think Hogan definitely deserved to win over Big John Studd. Big John Studd was kind of like a Lifetime Achievement Award. But, Hogan definitely deserved this win. All right, now we're in the 1990 Royal Rumble. And we got, for the title match, Hulk Hogan versus Rick Rude. I think this is a good match here. We never really got to see it on pay-per-view, but Rick Rude can talk about how, you talk about the pythons, 24-inch pythons, but look at me, ravishing Rick Rude. And, he says he should be more marketable than Hulk Hogan, and the only reason Hulk Hogan is more marketable is because, he pans up to the fans, talking about prayers and all this. But he's Rick Rude. He doesn't need to pan up to the fans, just look at him. So, they can have a few arm wrestling battles just like that to build it up. And, just a nice title defense for Hogan here. I prefer that, he's not in the Royal Rumble because I want, Ultimate Warrior to really get the rub from winning the Royal Rumble. And, the only thing we lose is obviously the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior face-off in the Royal Rumble match. But you know what? I think that's fine. And I definitely think, Ultimate Warrior, he deserved to win one of these Royal Rumble matches. I love Hogan, but for him to win, did he win 3? I wish, someone else would have won it, and I think Ultimate Warrior, he definitely deserves it, and it just makes sense to create the collision course between Hogan and Warrior at WrestleMania. All right, now we're talking about the Royal Rumble 1991, and I actually would keep the title match the same. It would be the Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter. But I'll actually have Hulk Hogan come out and make the save. You could have General Adnan kind of, when the referee's down, they could start beating up on Ultimate Warrior. Hogan kind of even the odds, and then Warrior can he can come back and defeat Sergeant Slaughter. And in the Royal Rumble, I would actually have Hogan and Savage be the final two, but Sergeant Slaughter can cause a distraction, leading to Randy Savage getting the win. And I think this is good because, first off, Savage finally gets on the board here. He definitely is another one of these guys that should have won the Royal Rumble. Unfortunately, he did not win one in real life. And also, I think it just sets up the feud. Hogan, Slaughter, they don't really need the belt. That was more about USA, Americana patriotism. You didn't really need the championship, but I think Warrior versus Savage for the title. We already know how great of a match that was. It could be title versus career. Because the Royal Rumble didn't mean you would get the title shot. So Savage could say, I won the Royal Rumble, I want my title shot. Warrior would be like, no, and then Savage is like, you know what, I'm gonna put my career on the line, and then Warrior could accept the match, and the match would be just as great, but this time for the championship, and this time it would be in the rightful place, the main event. All right, for 1992, you know what? This is one that I couldn't really rebook. I had to keep it the same. Obviously, it was the Royal Rumble match for the title, and obviously this was when Ric Flair won it. What a great moment. The commentary with Bobby Heenan, just cheering for Ric Flair, and then, him switching it up, saying it's a kill to Roddy Piper after he attacked Ric Flair. And then, of course, the ending, when Ric Flair eliminates Psycho Sid. And then the promo with a tear in my eye. This is the greatest moment of my life. Yeah, this is definitely something you can't change. You got to keep the same. Probably the best Royal Rumble match. And probably the best Royal Rumble moment. And, the only thing I would have changed is I'll lead it to have Flair versus Hogan rather than Flair versus Savage, because that was a dream match we missed out on. All right, now we're here, the 1993 Royal Rumble. And I actually would have Bret Hart defend the title against Ric Flair. So I know Bret defeated Ric Flair in a house show, but I felt like that match should have been like a televised match, but they didn't give it to us, so let's have the rematch at the Royal Rumble. And you can even have Mr. Perfect cost Ric Flair the match here. And that was set up the loser leaves Raw match. I think it'd be good. And then for the Royal Rumble, I would actually have Mr. Perfect win the Royal Rumble. You could even have Ric Flair join again, and it'll be Flair and Perfect, the final two. So I think that'll be really good. And this sets up Perfect Bret, the rematch from SummerSlam 1991. Ric Flair can kind of look strong on the way out, Yokozuna was cool and all, but I just felt like, at the time, it was a little too early for Yokozuna. And I think he could feud with Hogan at WrestleMania, so... All right, now we're into 1994. I would actually have the title match be Yokozuna versus Lex Luger, 1-on-1. Luger gets his rematch from SummerSlam, and he finally defeats Yokozuna. I think it'd be better than the casket match. And then in the Royal Rumble, I'd have Undertaker and Bret Hart be the final two. And I would actually have Bret Hart eliminate the Undertaker to win. This sets up Luger versus Bret, kind of like a face versus face match, but I think, face versus face matches are a lot of fun, and I think that match would be a lot of fun as well. And then you could even save Undertaker Yokozuna for WrestleMania. That's another option as well. And you could even have Lex Luger turn heel during the feud, because everyone wants to cheer for Bret. Lex could say, he took down the great Yokozuna. Why is everyone behind Bret Hart? So I think it's a nice setup there. All right, 1995 Royal Rumble. This is considered one of the worst Royal Rumble matches of all time. So we got Diesel as champion. I would actually have it be Diesel versus Bret Hart. Yeah, same match that actually happened here. And I'm thinking if I should give Bret the win and then have Owen Hart win the Royal Rumble, so you can kind of blow it off there. But you know what? I think Diesel just won the championship. I think Diesel can retain there. These two have good chemistry. And I'm cool with giving Shawn Michaels the win here. Shawn gets the win. Keep it the same. I just wish this match had a little more star power, but Shawn Michaels with the 1 foot him and British Bulldog going all the way. I thought it was a cool moment, and definitely one of the more iconic moments with the 1 foot and Shawn getting the win from number one, being the first person to win from number one. All right, the 1996 Royal Rumble. I have the same match from last year. Diesel versus Bret. This time Bret's coming in as a champion. And yeah, it's kind of like the rubber match because Diesel won last year. Bret won it back at Survivor Series 95. And so yeah, this is the rubber match. I would just have a clean match here. And yeah, Bret would get the win. Diesel would kind of get pissed, and you could have the same interaction with him and Undertaker. So instead of Bret versus Taker, it's Bret versus Diesel. And yeah, the Royal Rumble keep it the same. Shawn Michaels wins back to back. And finally, he gets his chance to redeem himself, and he does against Bret Hart in the Iron Man match. So yeah. Now let's get into 1997. So this is a very interesting one because the title match, Psycho Sid versus Shawn, I think it does make sense because Sid is a champion and the Rumble is in Texas, so you kind of have to keep it. But like also thinking about, hindsight being 2020, Shawn Michaels losing his smile, it's kind of like, should we go that way? But obviously we're kind of booking in the moment here. So I think, yeah, Sid versus Shawn, kind of keep that the same. And then for the Rumble, I love Austin winning, but I just don't think in the storyline where Shawn is the champion, it makes sense because obviously we know Shawn is not going to participate, but so why would Austin win? I think just storyline-wise, it makes sense to Bret Hart to get his second Rumble win here. And yeah, whatever happens after, happens after. But yeah, they're building towards Bret versus Shawn, so it only made sense for Bret Hart to get the win while Shawn is the champion. All right, now we're talking about 1998, and this is pretty obvious. The Royal Rumble winner is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Got to keep that the same. You can keep the bounty on him as well. He throws all these guys out over the top rope. So yeah, the only thing I'll change is the title match. I would actually have Shawn versus Owen rather than Shawn versus Undertaker in the casket match. First off, it'd probably save Shawn from getting injured. So yeah, who knows there. But also, I think just because it was coming off the Montreal Screwjob, Owen Hart is very hot. He was attacking Shawn Michaels, and they didn't really blow off this feud. And I think, Royal Rumble was a great way to do it. Nice title defense for Shawn Michaels and get the match while Owen Hart, he's still pretty hot and pretty over because of the Screwjob. 1999, I would actually keep the title match the same. Number one, Rock versus Mankind, I Quit match. That's one of the more iconic WWF title matches in Royal Rumble history. Obviously, with the Beyond the Mat documentary and kind of showing the damage Mankind went through. I mean, although it's not, it's very hard to watch. It's still pretty entertaining what this guy went through. And yeah, they had a really great match. The only thing I'll change is the Rumble winner. I'd have Austin get the win here. Keep it all the same, whatever. Austin McMahon at the end. And Austin can kind of throw him out. Kind of sets up Austin versus Rock. 2000, keep the title match the same. Triple H versus Cactus Jack. Probably the best title match in Royal Rumble history. It's definitely in contention. Top 3 for sure. Just to really, establish Triple H as the guy. The guy who will go through anything to keep the WWF title. So I think that was cool. And the Rumble, keep the Rock the same. The only difference is I'm not sure. I guess it was a botch actually, but you would wish the Rock's feet didn't touch the rope first. I wasn't a fan of Big Show being in the title match, but yeah, definitely got to keep it the same. Rock versus Triple H at WrestleMania is definitely a missed opportunity. 2001 title match. I'm cool with Kurt Angle versus Triple H. I think kind of get to blow off their feud here. And they could even continue this actually because there'd be 1-1 in the rivalry here. I would have Kurt get the win here. Obviously, Austin can screw Triple H. So yeah, and nice defense here. And then in the Rumble, definitely have Steve Austin win again. So this would be Austin's third win. And keep this the same. Austin versus Kane at the end. Kane had a nice dominant run. The Rock was in there as well in the final 3. So it's one of the more entertaining Royal Rumble matches. And obviously sets up Austin versus Rock after Rock wins the title at No Way Out. All right, 2002 is the Undisputed Championship. We got Chris Jericho versus The Rock. Keep it the same here. It's kind of like their rubber match as well, because Jericho defeated Rock at Vengeance, um, and I and I believe Rock beat him on Raw, and Jericho did defeat him at No Mercy. But yeah, still, you know what I'm trying to say. It's the blow off to their feud here. And yeah, they had a really good match. Jericho would retain. And the Royal Rumble, keep it the same. Triple H gets the win. He was super over when he returned. Fans were, by his side there. And yeah, it makes sense to have Jericho versus Triple H. The only problem I had was the booking of the feud and not the match itself. The match was solid. I just think the booking of Jericho was pretty bad, but you could definitely change that, in hindsight. All right, 2003. This is the first time we get 2 world title matches here. So, first title match, got to keep the same. Benoit and Angle. Great. Again, one of the best Royal Rumble matches, probably in the top 3. Depends how you slice it. Great technical match. Amazing match where Chris Benoit kind of got a standing ovation after the match. He did get a standing ovation after the match. It was amazing. And then for the world title match, Triple H versus Scott Steiner, that didn't really work. Obviously, I was thinking about Triple H and Shawn kind of blowing off their feud here. But in Armageddon, they just had 3 stages of hell. So I don't know if that would work. So I would have a Fatal 4 right here. Triple H versus Shawn versus RVD versus Jericho. I don't know if you guys remember, but RVD versus Shawn happened after Survivor Series. Triple H returned and kind of screwed RVD. Then you could have Jericho get in the mix here and, say at Survivor Series he had Triple H beat before Shawn sweet chin music to him. So yeah, this can continue the feud between Jericho and Shawn going into WrestleMania. And yeah, it keeps Booker T fresh for Triple H. I obviously wanted RVD versus Triple H, but since that already happened in this timeline at No Unforgiven, yeah, I think it's good to have him in this match here. And for the Rumble winner, gotta have Brock Lesnar get the win here. Keep it the same. Brock and Undertaker, final 2. And yeah, sets up Brock versus Kurt main event, which was a great match. 2004, for the WWE Championship, I would actually have Brock Lesnar versus John Cena rather than Brock Lesnar versus Hardcore Holly. I think it makes sense because obviously John Cena turned on Paul Heyman, didn't accept his request to join Team Heyman or Team Lesnar. So yeah, you already have a good rivalry. And these guys already had history in 2003, but just with the roles reversed, Cena's more the cocky, arrogant face. Brock is like the dominant heel here. So yeah, I think it would be much better than Brock versus Holly. And then for the World Heavyweight Championship, I'll keep it the same. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, last man standing match. I would actually still have Triple H win here, though, because I didn't see Shawn, to be in the main event. I think Triple H can kind of just blow it off here, hit the pedigree on the announce table, get up at 9. And yeah, and Benoit will get the win at the Royal Rumble. So this sets up Benoit, Triple H, 1-on-1 at WrestleMania. Keep everything the same, and Chris Benoit coming in number 1. The story of, he will never win the big one, and, he needs to win the Rumble to get a chance. And then, just how the Rumble played out, with everyone trying to go against Big Show. Big Show kind of eliminates everyone, and it's Benoit against Big Show, and Benoit overcomes the odds. Obviously, it's hard to watch now, but that was one of the great Royal Rumble moments of all time. All right, next up in 2005, we got the WWE title match. I would actually have JBL versus Kurt Angle. 1-on-1, just because, I would just save the Big Show match 1-on-1 at No Way Out. So I think it's be nice. Heel versus heel. It's kind of similar to Kurt versus Hunter, but just having both kind of have factions backing them up. JBL could claim he beat everybody. Kurt Angle can come out and say the only reason you were champion was because I was in a wheelchair. So yeah, should be a good match and a lot of cabinet interference. JBL will get the win. And then for the Raw match, I'd keep Triple H versus Randy Orton. It just made sense, obviously, if you wanted to rebook Randy before 2005, you could have it a little different. But just here, you kind of needed to kind of put this feud to bed. And And yeah, kind of blows off everything in Evolution. And it only makes sense because in the Royal Rumble, Dave Batista, he will still be the winner. Keep everything the same. Even the botch was great, Vince McMahon tearing his quads. I'm not going to say great, but, people know about it, so it's pretty wild there. Sets up Batista, Triple H at Mania. So, yeah. 2006, I have a different match here for the WWE Championship. I would actually have Edge versus Ric Flair in the ladder match. So this match happened on Raw. I think it was a TLC match, actually. So yeah, I think I would save John Cena getting the belt back until WrestleMania. I would actually have Edge versus Ric Flair blow off their feud because obviously Ric Flair and Edge were feuding at New Year's Revolution, and Ric Flair actually could say he defeated Edge because he did by disqualification. And yeah, this is how he gets the match here. And then for the world title, I would actually have Kurt Angle defend against Chris Benoit. 3 years in the making, a rematch here. Yeah, it should be just as good. I know Benoit's kind of in a feud with Booker, so maybe Booker can distract Benoit and kind of cause him to get, Angle slammed and put into the ankle lock here. But yeah, these guys had great chemistry. Kurt was a wrestling machine at this time, so the match would probably be just as good. And then for the Royal Rumble, yeah, I'm thinking you could go a lot of ways. You could have John Cena win, choose Edge. You could have Undertaker win, choose Kurt Angle. But I think, I'll keep Rey Mysterio still the winner here. And I would just book things differently. I would actually have Randy defeat Kurt at No Way Out. So you would have Randy Ray for the title. And then you could have Kurt Undertaker non-title match there. So yeah, 2007, Cena versus Umaga. That was a great match. Last man standing match. Keep everything the same there. The finish with John Cena choking out Umaga with the ropes. What a moment as well. And then for the World Heavyweight Championship, I actually have Batista versus Chris Benoit. So yeah, Benoit kind of gets back-to-back title matches here. And this is kind of a match we never really got to see for the world title. Yeah, it's just a simple challenge here. Benoit makes the challenge. He says, Batista, people are saying you're all muscle. But I'm the best wrestler. It doesn't matter how much muscles you have. So yeah, and Batista could say, you could have all these submissions, but, what are you going to do when you can't keep it on me, So, yeah, should be a good match here. And then for the ECW Championship, this is the only time I'll have the ECW Championship because they did make it feel big even when Undertaker won the Rumble. Lashley was in the mix as one of the people he could have chose. Yeah, just have Lashley versus RVD. I think, RVD could say he respects Lashley, but, Lashley's not ECW, and ECW needs RVD as champion. Yeah, they can even have it as Extreme Rules. Lashley kind of proves himself and defeats RVD. All right. And the Royal Rumble, got to keep the Undertaker the winner here. Him and Shawn had a iconic ending. Keep everything the same. Those two went at it for like 5 to 10 minutes at the end. Great ending to a Royal Rumble. 2008, I'll keep both title matches the same. Edge versus Ray. Yeah, this just made sense, to kind of give Edge like a filler feud here before he faces The Undertaker. And obviously with Vicky Guerrero in the mix, it makes sense for Ray to feud with Edge. For the WWE Championship, Randy versus Jeff. Again, really good match here, obviously with Jeff doing the Swanton Bomb in the build here. And yeah, it's kind of like a filler, again, feud here. But still, a nice feud and a nice match. And then, yeah, 2008, got to keep it the same. John Cena returns, wins the Royal Rumble. Yeah, surprised the hell out of everyone. He got cheered and then he got booed. Him and Triple H had a nice final too. And only thing different I would have is I would have Cena Orton 1-on-1 at WrestleMania, right, in the triple threat match. Going into 2009, John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. Yeah, so instead of John Cena versus JBL, I would have Shawn Michaels representing JBL. So JBL says, well, Shawn, I'm going to pay you, but you need to win the title, and then you hand it over to me. So yeah, first off, I think this would be a better match. It's kind of a shame Shawn wasn't really on the card here. So I think, yeah, just make the match much better. John Cena, JBL, we've seen that enough times already. And yeah, you can have JBL kind of cost Shawn the match by accident there. So, and then for the WWE champion, I would have Jeff Hardy versus The Undertaker in a ladder match, kind of a rematch from 2002. Yeah, I really felt like, they really screwed Jeff Hardy, and at least give him one title defense. Him versus Undertaker would be a great ladder match, and Jeff could kind of finally get his win back. And yeah, if you want to keep the title off Jeff, you could have Edge win at the Chamber. But for now, I would still have Jeff at least defend the title once. 2010, you got Sheamus coming in as champ, so I would actually have Sheamus versus Triple H here. I would do that match rather than WrestleMania. Sheamus could get the win here, though, and he could eventually lose it at the Rumble. But yeah, I think this would be a better match than him versus Orton, just because Orton wasn't really established as a face yet. And for the World Heavyweight Championship, Taker versus Ray. Again, I thought it was really good here. Nice Dead Man versus the Underdog here. And yeah, kind of a filler feud, obviously, but, made sense to have this match here. All right, 2011, we got The Miz versus John Morrison. So instead of Miz versus Randy rematch from TLC, I think Miz versus Morrison have some fresh blood here. Ideally, I would have this match at WrestleMania, but, I'm just thinking how the WWE is booking these things. They had a match on Raw. Just save that match. Here, makes sense. Former partners, Miz turned on John Morrison. John Morrison wants what the Miz wants. And then for the World Heavyweight Championship, Edge versus Dolph. Keep it the same here. Nice storyline. Only thing I wouldn't have is, Dolph, getting handed the belt and actually getting an official title reign. I wouldn't have that. Yeah, you could have the Band of the Spear as well. Edge versus Vicky. Cool stuff there. And for the Royal Rumble winner, I would actually give the win to John Cena. It just makes sense if you're trying to build towards Cena versus Miz. Del Rio won it, but he didn't really do anything with it, to be honest. So I think John Cena would probably be the better choice here. 2012, you have CM Punk defending the belt. I would have him go one-on-one with John Laurinaitis. Yes, instead of Dolph, I would have him go one-on-one with Johnny Ace. I think this would be cool, kind of throwback to Austin versus Vince. You could have some people interfere on Johnny's behalf, like David Otunga. And but CM Punk can get the job done in a street fight. And then for the World Heavyweight Champion, I would have Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton. People are saying Daniel Bryan's a fluke champ. He says he's going to prove it at the Rumble. Randy says, you can't prove anything to me. I'm the Viper. And you could have Daniel Bryan kind of cheat to win, starting his heel run here. And for the Royal Rumble winner, I would give it to Chris Jericho. I love Sheamus, but, if you're trying to build towards Punk Jericho, Jericho should have got the win here just to really emphasize that he's the best in the world, because he didn't win the Rumble. How could he claim he's the best in the world, right? So 2013, CM Punk versus The Rock. This is a really good match, highly anticipated match. Keep everything the same. The only thing is I would have CM Punk win here and retain. And for the World Heavyweight Championship, we have Alberto Del Rio as a face champ. I would actually have him fight Wade Barrett here. Wade Barrett can say, that, why is he trying to, be cool with the Americans? He's he's from UK, much better and all that stuff. No undercard feud there. That'd be a good match there, rather than have Del Rio Big Show again. And then for the Royal Rumble winner, I'd actually have Undertaker win his second Royal Rumble and choose CM Punk title versus streak. Makes sense. 2014, now we only got one title. I would actually have Randy versus CM Punk here. CM Punk was kind of feuding with the Authority. And if you're trying to build towards Punk versus Triple H, you could have Triple H cost CM Punk the match. And then for the Rumble, you got to have Daniel Bryan win the match here. I think it just makes sense. I don't know what's wrong with WWE choosing Batista here. Daniel Bryan wins and he gets the title match at WrestleMania after getting screwed by the Authority. He proves the Authority wrong, gets his moment at WrestleMania. 2015, keep the title match the same. Brock, John Cena, Seth Rollins, great triple threat match. one probably in the top 5 Royal Rumble title matches of all time. And then yeah, Daniel Bryan wins back to back. That's how over Daniel Bryan was. He could win back to back Royal Rumbles here. And yeah, it just sets up Daniel Bryan versus Brock. Daniel trying to get his title back that he never lost against the Beast Brock Lesnar. True underdog, David versus Goliath story there. 2016. I'm actually not a fan of Roman Reigns defending his belt here. I think it was just a way WWE really try to over push Roman Reigns. I would just have him have a title match here. Roman versus Brock Lesnar, and then you could have Triple H screw Roman Reigns, so Brock Lesnar is the champion here. And this sets up Roman versus Hunter, but not for the belt. And then for the Rumble, I'll actually have Dean Ambrose win. And it kind of makes sense. You had Dean versus Brock there. And and I think their match was a little bit underwhelming. But I think, if booked differently, Dean Ambrose can get a nice feel-good moment and become champion at Mania. And then 2017, this time we got 2 belts back. So for the Universal title, I would actually have Owens versus Goldberg have their match here rather than Fastlane. And Jericho would kind of help Kevin Owens sneak a win here. Jericho and Brock Lesnar, sorry. So Brock would also kind of screw Goldberg there. And then for the WWE title, we got Cena, AJ. I'm kind of thinking here, though, because I do want Cena and AJ at WrestleMania. Maybe I'll have AJ fight someone else. Maybe like AJ versus Randy. And, Bray Wyatt can kind of just accidentally cost Randy the match there. And that could set up AJ versus Cena at Mania. And then at the Royal Rumble, I have Jericho win here. And it will set up Jericho versus Owens at WrestleMania. So, yeah, I think Goldberg versus Brock could be an undercard match. And Bray versus Randy, that could be an undercard match. Doesn't really need the belts, in my opinion. All right, 2018. I would have AJ versus Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn triple threat match rather than the handicap match. I just think a handicap match kind of, it's pretty obvious that AJ is going to retain here. Triple threat match makes it a little interesting here. And you can even have Shane be the good one to count the pin on Sami or Kevin Owens with the ref down to kind of build their feud there. And then I would have Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt. Something a little different here, 2018. Eventually, I had Brock versus Braun at WrestleMania, but I think this would be a nice way to, get a nice title match here, a match that we never really got on pay-per-view. Could be heel versus heel. Bray's trying to play mind games. Brock is saying he's not scared of that stuff. So, yeah, Brock could get the win here. And then for the Rumble, keep it the same. I'd have Shinsuke Nakamura get the win. I mean, obviously their match, kind of under-delivered, but I just felt like they didn't do Shinsuke any favors here by turning him heel. I would have give him a chance to, get a run with the belt. That's the only difference there. 2019, I would actually have Daniel Bryan versus Rey Mysterio. Yeah, this would be a nice, fun match. Daniel Bryan can talk about, Rey Mysterio. He's always, loving the fans, but the fans don't care about him. Fans don't care about me. They don't care about the environment, yada, yada. So, yeah, this is kind of a nice little dream match here. And then for the Universal Championship, keep it the same. Brock versus Finn Balor. Finn wants the title that he never lost. They had a pretty good match here. And then for the Rumble winner, I would actually have Kurt Angle get the win because I'm trying to build towards Kurt versus Daniel Bryan. So Kurt Angle could finally get his first Royal Rumble win here. And then 2020, I would have Brock versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was a face at the time. So, Kevin Owens, since he wants to fight, Brock Lesnar's a prize fighter. Let's get it on. So kind of a nice little feud there. And then I would have Bray Wyatt as the Fiend versus Roman Reigns. And, Bray can retain there. I think it'd be better than having Roman in the Rumble again. And then for the Rumble winner, I would have Drew McIntyre win again. And, same thing could happen. He could defeat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. All right. Royal Rumble 2021, I have Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. I would actually have AJ Styles get the win here. And this would lead to AJ versus Edge at WrestleMania. But Drew would have a nice, good reign. And then we'd have Roman versus Goldberg, Battle of the Spears. Yeah, I know they had this match in Saudi Arabia, and I know Drew fought Goldberg, but in my opinion, Goldberg versus Roman was the more ideal match, and the match that makes a little more sense rather than face versus face, kind of face versus heel here. Yeah. All right. 2022, I would actually have Roman go against Shinsuke Nakamura one-on-one. I love Kevin Owens, but I feel like he got a little too much title matches here. Something a little different here. Or Shinsuke, he's trying to take out the bloodline with the strikes and all that stuff. I think it'll be a cool match. Shinsuke could talk about how, they don't like you, Roman. They loved me even in NXT over you. So, yeah. And then I would actually have Brock versus Big E. I feel like Big E should have got his rematch at the very least. They could save Bobby Brock, for Mania, actually, but at least give Big E his rematch. They just moved him to SmackDown after, which to me did not make any sense there. And, yeah. And who I would have win this Royal Rumble, I would actually have Drew win, and it would be Drew versus Roman at WrestleMania. Drew could finally get his moment. All right, 2023, we only got one belt. Universal Championship, Roman versus Kevin. Keep everything the same here, including the finish, where Roman's just beating the crap out of Kevin Owens. Sammy, he kind of feels bad. Roman tells him to hit Kevin Owens with the chair, but Sammy can't do it. Hits Roman with the chair. And, then have Cody Rhodes also win. Makes a lot of sense there. And I said this before, but I think I would have Cody just win at WrestleMania 39. All right, 2024, I would have Roman versus Randy. Just makes sense because Randy returned. He has problems with the bloodline. The 4-way was cool, but I felt like, Rumble, you need a nice one-on-one match here. And Roman versus Randy is a pretty fresh matchup. Randy is pretty hot here coming back. So, yeah, good match. Roman retains. And then for the winner here, I guess you would have to go Cody Rhodes again, just considering that CM Punk did get injured. CM Punk would have been a good choice as well, but he got injured. So Cody gets the win here. Obviously, in my world, Cody would have already won the belt, but here, since I'm kind of booking year by year, makes sense. Cody will finally get his moment. And then now, this year, 2025, I'm a little surprised that Gunther's not on the card here. I would actually have Gunther versus Seth Rollins. I think that'd be a nice, fun match here at the Royal Rumble. Seth, he's always one of the top contenders. He could say, Gunther, you're a great champion, but, this is Raw. This is my show. And then for the WWE Championship, keep it the same. Cody versus Kevin Owens. And there's a lot of, things that could go on this match with Sami Zayn, interfere. Who else will interfere? But, yeah, this is definitely a good match. And I have Cody retain. And then I would actually have CM Punk win the Royal Rumble this year and challenge Cody Rhodes. They had a lot of great back and forth on Monday Night Raw. And I feel like this is just now or never with CM Punk, like how many times is he going to talk about, winning the Royal Rumble, not main eventing WrestleMania. Like, let's get this over with. Let's get CM Punk finally in the main event of WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes. A nice, fresh matchup. So, yeah, guys. I just realized, guys, I didn't really rebook the women's Royal Rumble. And I'll do that pretty quickly here. 2018, I think Asuka's... Yeah, I think I'm good with Asuka winning there. She was undefeated at the time, so it makes sense. And then 2019, I would actually have Becky Lynch win, just like they had him book, and then have Becky versus Ronda one-on-one. 2020, I would actually give the win to Shayna Baszler. I'm not a fan of Charlotte, winning and challenging NXT. Shayna versus Becky, that just makes a lot of sense there. 2021, I'm cool with Bianca Belair getting the win there. Sets up Bianca versus Sasha. 2022 would actually have Bianca run it back. First back-to-back women's winner. And that will lead to Bianca versus Charlotte. Nice fresh matchup there. 2023, Rhea Ripley getting the win. That definitely made a lot of sense. And then we have Rhea again versus Charlotte. Great match there. 2024, I was good with Bayley as well getting the win. And then, finally kind of breaking up Damage Control and getting her moment. And this year, who will win? Charlotte is definitely a possibility because she might face Tiffany Stratton. Bianca is definitely a possibility because Bianca versus Rhea Ripley never happened before. But I feel like Bianca's kind of in a feud with Jade, or will have a feud with Jade. So I think I'm just gonna go with Charlotte and have Tiffany versus Charlotte at WrestleMania. So yeah, guys, that's my rebooking of some of the Royal Rumble winners and title matches, world title matches. Let me know what you guys think. Royal Rumble is going to be great. Looking forward to it. And my predictions: CM Punk for the men's, Charlotte for the women's. I'd have Kevin Owens, Cody. Be a good match, but Cody would retain. And then I would have DIY also retain in the tag team title match. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Peace.